Part of me still doesn't understand why they didn't call this movie Even If, or I Can Only Imagine 2, Even If. What's up guys, my name is Ryan, welcome to my channel if you're new here. So this can be my review for I Can Only Imagine 2. I liked the first I Can Only Imagine, it's probably my favorite Christian movie, if The Prince of Egypt doesn't count. I'm a big Christian music fan, it's my favorite type of music, and MercyMe I think is one of the better Christian artists in my opinion. I love seeing the story of how their lead singer Bart Millard struggled with his abusive father and forgiving him, and just seeing the story of how that song came to be. But when they announced a sequel, I was like, what the heck? What can you do with the sequel? And then I found out that it was going to be telling the story of how MercyMe's song Even If came about, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was actually really excited to check this movie out. I went with some people from my young adults group. We had a good time, but now that I've seen the film, what did I think about it? Let's dive in, and don't worry, I won't be spoiling anything. And overall, it was pretty solid. Just a good film. It wasn't phenomenal or anything like that, didn't blow me away, but it was just a good film that promoted godly principles, that had a good message behind it, and I really enjoyed seeing the story of how MercyMe's Even If song came to be. The cast does a really good job. You got J. Michael Finley returning to play Bart in this film. Trace Adkins is back as MercyMe's manager Scott Brickle. Dennis Quaid appears as Bart Millard's father again in flashbacks. Sophie Skelton, who plays Bart's wife Shannon in this film, does a good job as well. I don't know why they didn't bring Madeleine Carroll from the first film back. The interwebs won't even tell me why, but Sophie Skelton did do a really good job. I don't remember his name, but the actor who plays Bart's son Sam in the film does a pretty good job as well. And I also really enjoyed the character of Tim Timmons, played by Milo something. His last name starts with a V, but I don't remember how to say it. And then his wife Hillary, played by Ariel something. I'm so sorry, I'm not remembering names very well right now, but they all did a really good job, and I especially love Tim Timmons' character because he's kind of the comedic relief. He's a very goofy guy. And that's another thing about this film. It was a bit funnier than I was expecting it to be, especially when it came to the Tim Timmons character. I also love the use of some of MercyMe's other songs in this film as kind of background tracks in certain scenes. I love that they incorporated more MercyMe's music into this film. But the main thing is the story. It just has a really good, relatable story. The message of this film is the message of the song Even If. Sometimes we want God to heal us or deliver us from difficulties in life and things that we're struggling with. Sometimes, as they say in the film, we feel like we're going through the fire or the storm, but God is in it with us. And even when He doesn't deliver us from it and when we want Him to, even if He allows us to go through difficulty and endure pain and suffering, He is still good and He still loves us. He is still worthy to follow and trust and be praised. That really resonated with me as a Christian, as I imagine it would for pretty much any Christian. If you're a Christian out there, you know that Christian life isn't always very easy. You're gonna go through very difficult, hard times, and it's not always easy to trust God and to pray and follow Him in those times. It's not always easy to be like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in Daniel chapter 3, which the song Even If is based upon, and I love how they talk about that in the film. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were told to bow down to Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon's statue that he set up, and they refused to, and then he threatened to throw them in the fiery furnace if they refused to bow down, and of course they said, our God is able to deliver us, but even if He doesn't, we will still not serve your gods, and we will not worship them either. It also reminded me of Job and his story as well. God took pretty much everything from Job, and Job still said, the Lord gave and the Lord has taken away, but blessed be the name of the Lord, which is a fantastic Matt Redman song. And then when his wife is asking him, why don't you just curse God and die, Job? And he says, shall we only accept good things from the Lord and not the bad? And that's the message of this film. I really love that message. I think it's a very important message to teach and to emphasize. Me personally, I don't think it's talked about enough. I hear a lot of preaching and messages about how God is able to heal, He's able to save, He's able to bring you through the fire, through the storm of life. But if He doesn't, what then? Like Bart in this film, he's struggling with his diabetic son and how to be a father to him because he didn't have a great example of a father really most of his life. I really enjoyed seeing Bart learn how to be a better father and how to interact with his son. But you know, he's having to help his son deal with this lifelong illness. Sometimes there are things in life like a certain illness or a struggle that we keep praying that God will deliver us from, that He will heal us, and we keep praying, keep asking the Lord to take it away, but He doesn't always do that. And our attitude should be, even if He doesn't, God is still good, He still loves me. He's still worthy of my faith and trust and worthy of my worship and to be praised. I hear a lot of people say I'm really believing and trusting that God will do this for me, and that's wonderful. But in the back of my head, I'm always wondering, and if he doesn't, will you still praise him? Will I still praise him? I ask myself that question all the time. This film is just such a great reminder of that message and that truth. And like they say in the film, God is in the fire, he's in the storm. He may not take the struggle away from you, may not take that sickness, but he will walk with you through it. I love what my young adults leader who went and saw the film with us says. He says, never ask God to take a struggle or a storm away from you. Ask him to walk with you and deliver you through it. The Bible teaches that God uses the times of trial and struggle and pain and suffering in our lives to conform us more to the image of Christ, make us more like Christ, and to teach us and to help others who have gone through and struggle with the same things we do. Paul says in Romans that all things work together for the good of those that love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. And that reminds me of something my other young adults leader says, and she went and saw the film with us too, which was wonderful. She says, not all things are good, but all things work together for good. Trials and suffering isn't pleasant, but God will use it for good somehow, some way. The messaging of this film I just thought was fantastic and a reminder that I definitely needed. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I only had like really one main issue with it. And me and my friends were talking about this after the film, and we kind of all shared the same criticism, which is, my friend put it really well. He said that some of the Christianity in it felt a bit sanitized. It felt like some moments in this film they cut out some of the God talk or Christian talk. Like these characters, these people, based on real life people, real life Christians, you know, these characters in the film, they are Christians, but sometimes the way they talk, it just feels a bit generic and like they don't keep God in the picture. There's just a few decent amount of moments in this film where I felt like the reality of God wasn't a part of the conversation, and for me that really bothered me at certain points in the film. But still, I really enjoyed this film. Really good message. I love the ending where they actually sing the song Even If. Also, I love the mention and reference to the classic hymn It Is Well With My Soul, which is another big part of the song Even If's creation. If you know the story behind that song, you know what I'm talking about. But I love referencing that old classic hymn. I am generally a fan of the old hymns. I grew up with a lot of the classic hymns. But overall, once again, really enjoyed this film. I think I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, just a solid film. If you enjoy the first I Can Only Imagine, you will enjoy this film. If you have not seen it, go out and see it. But that's all I have to say about I Can Only Imagine 2. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the movie if you have seen it. Click right here to subscribe if you enjoy my content. Right here is my previous movie review for Mercy. And right here is a playlist of all the films that came out last year that me and my friends reviewed if you want to check out some of my other movie reviews. And with that, I hope y'all have a blessed one, guys. I'll see y'all in the next video.